Yeah, go.
Welcome, guys. We've got not another, but we've got the round one, basically round preview. And we've got the crew together apart from one, Dane. Look, sent out the search party for him today, but apparently he's already celebrating a Roosters premiership this year. He's that confident. So he's walking around. He's apparently still celebrating Mardi Gras with all the other Roosters supporters. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. But look, want to start off with the weekly weapon, and it's a special shout out this week to everyone who sort of jumped on and helped with the team previews. A lot of the pages have been kind enough to help us out, and obviously we've got the boys doing one as well. I know it takes a little bit of time to organise, but really appreciate it. We do have a couple more coming out, but they'll all be out by probably Saturday, Sunday this week, and it'll be really good. It's been a good insight. It's been really good short videos. I think people have really liked that concept. So shout out to everyone out there. Really appreciate it, and we'll definitely return the favour whenever you need. Just send us a message. But look, big news today. Cam Smith obviously officially retiring. I think most suspected this would happen. I want to go around the group and get a quick 30 seconds from each of the boys and find out what they think of Cam Smith and what he's left on the game and his legacy, I guess. We'll start off with Jason. What's your thoughts on Cam Smith?
Undoubtedly a future immortal. Love him or hate him. He was good at what he did. He was able to change the complexion of games many times, and just a very influential player. So he'll definitely go down in history as one of the greatest. So good on him, and good luck in his life after footy.
100% up on the sunny Gold Coast. Around the Gold Coast. Josh, what's your thoughts about Cam Smith?
If he was a New South Welshman, I would love the bloke. You know what I mean? I would love. As a Queenslander, I didn't like him too much, but what can you do, man? Give credit where credit is due, man. He done good for the game. How many premierships? Led Queensland to 7 titles in a row. You know what I mean? He done well. Give credit where credit is due, man. So yeah, like Jason said, hope he has a good future now, man.
Well, this one is going to be tough for Sid because I've given him a 30-second time limit. Let's see if he can keep to that. Take it away, Sid. I know you're ready to go.
I am, and I'm going to do something different because the boys said it all. I agree with all you guys, actually. Casting mine back to 2018, the Dragons were actually a half decent team. First half of the year during premiers, and we played Melbourne at Cogra, and I was at the game, and we put the cleaners from 40-something to 12 or something like that. And you never see that with Melbourne, but we were flying and they were pacing themselves. And Cam Smith copped it the whole game from the crowd, you know. And then at the end of the game, even though they'd lost by 30 odd, he walked up to the crowd. He gave, I think he gave his boots and shin pads or something like that. I don't know what he had in his hand to a guy in a wheelchair that was literally the only Storm jersey in the whole, like in that section. And then he took a photo with him, and then you thought, oh, how can you hate this? Like, yeah, you know, we see what he does on the field, but at the end of the day, he's still a human being. He may be a decent bloke. He's just very competitive. I saw that and went, okay. So coupling that with the achievements on the field, again, I say, you know, all the best, mate. Well done, and future immortal for sure.
Well, mate, you probably doubled that. You went for about a minute, but look, I think they were still shorter than we all expected. I did ask one follow-up question, which I'm gonna hate asking. Why was he wearing shin pads?
I think they were the low ones for shin splints, the little small ones. From memory, I can't remember. Yeah.
Oh,
Mate,
okay.
I'm 40 years old. I don't remember what I had for breakfast. Don't even worry about it.
All right. Well,
with my face. All right.
I'll echo the thoughts of all the boys. Good luck in retirement. Obviously, a star player and one of a lifetime sort of players, and I think no doubt be a Hall of Fame member in the years to come. So well done, Cam Smith. That's a bloke you love to hate, really. So it pains me to say it, but good on him for a great career. Now let's get stuck into it. It is round one. I cannot wait. I'm more excited for this than I am for Christmas. So that says a lot. First off, we've got South v Storm. Massive game to start the year. And for mine, this is my actual grand final. So it'd be weird if it's the first game and the last game of the year, which will be a bit of a weird coincidence. But look, Jason, I'll throw to you first. Who you see winning this one and why?
To be honest with you, I've tipped Souths to win this one. Just seeing their form and across the park, they're very strong. Melbourne without Cam Smith, without Harry Grant, yes, they got the block of cheese in there as well. Great hooker, but he's just not. I don't think he's as good as Harry or Cam, obviously, but. Yeah, I see this being a close one. I think Rabbitohs by 4 for me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an absolute cracker. A couple of interesting stats is that Storm haven't lost a round one fixture since 2003, which basically since under Bellamy. So they're really good at round one and starting well. South haven't beaten the Storm in Melbourne. So there's some big stats there, but I think both teams are going to be massively strong. And Josh, how do you see this one going?
I've tipped South also, man. I just think the Latrell Ritual, just around the edges, I think it'll be a big difference, a very big difference. And I think Melbourne without Cam Smith, the first game, I think they're going to find it a bit difficult. So that's why I've gone South the first game. But it's very tough. It was a very tough game to tip. But I think Latrell Mitchell will be the X factor in this game. So I'll tip South.
Did give us your wisdom.
Yeah, I'm going with South. I think they're going to put on the score, actually. Two reasons. One, if you count, say, South's last couple of games last year into the Charity Shield, granted they were playing a very poor Dragons team, they scored a ridiculous amount of points. I think, if you count maybe the last 4 or 5 games, they've clocked around 200 points. They hit the ground running. This is their third year under Bennett. All the wheels are nice and oiled, and I think they're just gonna do that simple speed game and give it out to their creative guys to express themselves, and they'll be a little bit too much for the Storm. And the other reason is that the Storm is an unknown commodity without Smith, as Josh alluded to. We don't know what to expect really. We're guessing at this stage. So I'll go with the safe option, South to win and win well.
I'll go against the grain. I'm tipping the Storm. I think a big factor of that is they didn't play at Melbourne last year for basically the whole season, and I think they're going to look to repay the fans, and it's a big in to get to go back down there and play some footy. So I'm going to say Storm in a tight one. Wouldn't be surprised if it's by a field goal. First game of Friday, and we've got a couple of Doggies fans that are jumping in their booths for this one. They can't wait. It's the Knights versus the Dogs. Couple of quick pointers I want to mention would just be, can Pearce step up? He's got no Ponga. He's got no Blake Green there yet, so a lot of pressure on Pearce to steer the ship. For the Dogs, will they need some time to gel? Flanagan's impact, what will he have on this team, and will he hit the ground running? So, Jason, obviously, I think you're going to tip the Dogs. Tell us why.
Oh, yeah, I've tipped the Dogs. I think they're going to come out with a lot to prove. I feel like they got a fresh team, and they got a team that can win games now. I think Kyle Flanagan's going to step up here. I hope he takes it as a personal challenge, playing against Mitchell Pearce, who is a top halfback. And I think he has a lot to prove as well to the Roosters. I think dropping him, and he'll come out and put on a show, I think.
Did give us your thoughts on this game. Sid.
Yeah.
With us?
So look, all right. So I think the Dogs are going to win. I think the Knights without Ponga, while they're a strong side, they rely too much on Pearce, and frankly, I call Pearce the terrorist because he bombs more chances than I've ever seen, and combined with what happened in the off season, which we're not going to talk about, it's probably inappropriate. But what happened in the off season, be interested to see if the boys they go all in for him, to protect their halfback. But I just think the Dogs, as Jason was saying, they got a lot to prove. They're going to want to hit the ground running, and they're going to want to make a statement. to say, look, we're no longer easy beats. We're here to play this year.
Josh, I know it's your bet of the week, and tell us why.
$2.60 it's value, but
Gamble responsibly.
That's right. They've won 8 out of 9 against Knights. Yeah, they won their past 8 and 6 straight at McDonald Jones Stadium. So they haven't lost it in 6 straight games. And I think with this new team that Dogs have got, yeah, it's a good stat to have, man. And I think the new team, they're going to be booming with confidence. And got a point to prove. $2.60, you can't go past it.
Gamble responsibly, please. Again, I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go the Knights. Look, guys, if you haven't jumped on already, the tipping comp for League of Inches, it's going to be an interesting start going off some of our tips already. So either going to be a good start for me or a very poor start. So second game, Brisbane v the Eels. And obviously, I'll be at that game. I can't wait. Prof got the halfback spot, which is pretty big. Did and obviously missed out. And I think there's some rumblings. I think that means he's signed elsewhere, but we'll see what happens there. And obviously, Opachik is he the answer at centre for Jennings, which is obviously suspended. So, Sayed, who do you pick in this one?
I think the Eels will be a little bit too strong for the Broncos. Broncos have got some way to recovering, not only from how poor they were, their poor structures, but I think the mental scars, they're not going to just all of a sudden be a decent team in the first round. They're going to take some time to build, and the Eels are really fast starters in the last 3-4 years. I can't see anything but an Eels victory.
You agree, Josh?
Yeah, 100%. I'm taking the Eels as well. I think your hooker, Mahoney, is it?
Yeah,
the hooker
Mahoney.
for yeah. I think he's going to play a big part in this game, man.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Eels himself.
Jason?
I've actually gone with the Broncos. I think same as the Dogs, they got a lot to prove. Wooden Spooners, first time in their history, and I think they're too big a club to just lay there and worry about what happened last year. And I think they've moved on from that mentally. I think personally, and I think they do have a pretty decent side across the park, but. Come the end of the 80 minutes, I guess we'll find out.
You just received Sid's eyes, so be careful there. You've got an eye race from Sid early on. I think I'm tipping the Eels, but I'm actually pretty worried about this as an Eels fan. I think the Broncos have a real us against them mentality at this first game and will have a point to prove. This game for mine's a big season-defining game, which is a bit weird to say for the Broncos, but they need to come out and really show they're here to play this year. Otherwise, it's going to be another long year if it's another towel up. First game is Saturday. We've got the Warriors v the Titans, 2 pretty exciting clubs in the off-season. Purchased pretty well, it's fair to say. For mine, Warriors with the monster forward pack. Is it going to be a good or bad thing with the new rules? And can the young guns at the Titans live up to the hype? Jason, what's your tip for this one?
I went with the Warriors. I think their forward pack, they have a big forward pack, but in saying that, you look who they got. They got Fanua Blake, who last year played big minutes while the game was already quite fast as it was. A few new rules have sped it up even more, but I think they've had a decent off season as well, pre-season, and I see them taking it.
Josh, you agree?
Yeah, I've gone Warriors myself, man. But this was a pretty hard game for me to tip, to be honest, because you don't know what Titans are going to do. They finished the year strong last year. You don't know what they're going to do. And Warriors playing away from home again. Yeah, we'll see how they go. But it was a hard game for me to tip. So I took the Warriors, though, especially with RTS at the back. I think he'll be an X factor for them.
Yeah, 100%. Sid, give us your wisdom.
I'm going to go with Titans. I think they're a year ahead of where the Warriors are. They got their new coach this time last year, and Warriors are with a new coach, sprinkling the new players. Titans, and I also heard an article. I heard on the radio an interview with one of the Titans forwards. Was it Wallace? And he said he just having Fafita there as well as Big Tino from the Storm. Had a massive year, won the comp. One Origin, they're just So these guys are leading everything that they do in training, and the whole club has been lifted by these guys' presence. These two young guys, I think. I think Titans will win. They're going to be impressive this year, actually.
I agree. I'm going to tip the Titans. I think just an exciting off season will show off on the field. They'll start really fast and hard. It's going to be about if they can keep it up throughout the season. Middle game of Saturday, we've got the Roosters v Sea Eagles. For mine, I really like the fact Kiri's gone to half to sort of control the team. And I've also got, can the old flame sort of rekindle? So I'm talking about Foran and Cherry Evans. Can they rewind time and lead that club back to some glory days? Josh, who are you tipping for this one?
This was a pretty easy game for me to tip, man. I tipped the Roosters. You're right with Cherry Evans and Foran, but without Tommy Turbo there, I don't know. I don't see much points in a way. So I've gone the Roosters. I think the Roosters might tail them up a bit.
Yeah. Sid?
Yeah, short and sweet. Roosters by at least 30.
Yeah, I found this one pretty much the easiest game as well. I've gone Roosters. Jason?
Yeah, same Roosters as well. I think they're just too strong all the way across the park. Like you said, with Kiri at half, he can lead the team, and he's a good leader. So, yeah, I've gone with Roosters as well.
I think it shows how important Tom Tavoyevich is to this team, because I think if he's named, it's something where you think a little bit more about this game, but the fact that he's not there, they're going to rely so much on him this year. I've said it in another video today I did, but if he gets injured for any longer than he already is, I don't see Manly going anywhere near the top 8. So dangerous times for the Sea Eagles. Last game for Saturday is the Penny Panthers and the Cowboys. Interesting point from mine. Penrith now, they were the Hunters last year. They're now become the Hunted. Can the young guns sort of embrace that? Can they handle it moving forward? Or how does the Cowboys handle the Payton era? It's going to take a while, I think, to get into that. But do they have time to sort of get into there? So, Sid, who are you tipping for this one?
Look, Cowboys are my tip for the wooden spoon this year, if I recall correctly. Them or the Broncos. No, it was Cowboys, actually. So, I mean, Panthers are really good. They're a very exciting team, well organised. I think they have the best halfback in the comp. Panthers are just going to do a job on them, at least by 20.
Yeah, it's hard to not agree with that one. Jason?
Panthers as well. Too strong, I think. I think they're hungry after that grand final loss last year, and they're going to want to come out and smash every game that they play in. So, the Panthers.
Yeah, Josh?
Yeah, Panthers 100%. They got a big game. They got a big point to prove, man, especially this year. So they're going to play every game pretty hard, man. Yeah, they won 20 games last year. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's a big stat there.
And they're going to be that team that people come out and each week they're going to be up for. So they're going to have to face that challenge. I've gone Penrith as well, and I think they will come out of the blocks fast and win this pretty comfortably. So first Sunday game, love Sunday footy. I think we can all agree it's probably the best time to watch footy. Raiders versus the West Tigers. Raiders, we've obviously talked about in the past. They've got depth galore, but have they gone the right options for round one? That's up for debate. And the Tigers, they've got a really attacking backline, but just that stealing defence. I'm just a bit curious if they're going to have that yet. I know Maguire's big on that, slowly getting his players that he wants, but is it in how's he got enough players to do that with? Josh, who are you tipping for this one?
I took the Raiders here. Yeah, I took the Raiders. I think they're a bit under the radar this year, to be honest. So I don't think Tigers are a bit thin in the back line and that. So I think Raiders will do a job out wide.
Yeah. Jason?
I've gone with the Raiders. Seeing Hodgson back, I think he's going to be really good for the Raiders in their game as well. But in saying that, I'm really keen to see how James Roberts goes. I really hope he gets back to some of his best form and can make it back into the New South Wales squad.
Yeah, I've got to echo that statement. I really hope he's in for a big year. So when he's on, he's one of the most lethal centres in the game. Sid?
This I've been searching for an upset, and this is the only one I could think of. I think the Tigers. I mean, along with the Bulldogs. Frankly, I don't even know how Newcastle are that much favourites, but the Tigers are my upset of the week. I would have to say.
Wow.
I think they're going to surprise somebody.
Um,
They're going to surprise a few people. Yeah.
I might start doing a new segment each week. Sid's weekly underdog, weekly upset, and we'll bring that in. We'll bring some music to the segment and let you have a couple of minutes just to talk about that. But
I'll bring my crystal ball. All right.
I've got to disagree. I think the Raiders are, as Josh said, they've been flying under the radar this off season. I don't know why not many people are talking about it, and they've got such a good squad this year. They'll be right up there, and I think they're going to put the Tigers back down to earth after their big trial win a little bit. So the last game, I'll let Sid go first this time. We've got the Dragons and the Sharks. And the Dragons proved the doubters wrong. Sharks, no Fafita, who sort of started well in the All-Stars game and in the trials, but is that a sign that Morris is ready to change from the old guard, which for mine was probably the Sharks' issue coming into this season? Sid, who wins this and why? I'm very intrigued.
Oh, you can't ask me that because it's going to be a biased opinion. I think Sharks are very beatable. It is a derby game, and history tells us, as you know, with derbies, doesn't matter if one's first and one's last. It's always a tight game, and any team can beat any team on the day. I think we're well capable of beating them, but if they get their speed game going, they'll put 40 points on us. Now it's hard to judge our defence playing against Souths and playing that up and stop style that McGregor had them going for 7.5 years. I don't know if it's going to change overnight, but I don't know. I'm not confident, but I'll go with the Dragons.
There we go, guys. He's gone a video and he has mentioned McGregor. So if you are playing the drinking game, the weekly drinking game, down you go, down that bottle of Jim Beam. So, Josh, how do you see this one going?
It's hard for me to ever tip the Dragons, to be honest. So I don't think I ever will tip the Dragons. So I've gone the Sharks here.
Jason?
Yeah, I've gone the Sharks.
For me, I think this was a hard one to tip because I had both of these teams in my mind fighting for the wooden spoon. But I think, I don't know why, I just got this feeling that St. George are going to get up.
Wow. So you got a Dragons tip.
Yeah, I think that's my weekly upset.
Okay, I've gone the Sharks. I think too much has been said and done in that Dragons club in the off season for him to come out firing, and that Charity Shield performance was horrible. So I just can't tip him after that. Couple of questions that come through. Put up an Instagram post again and had a few people come through. The first one was who gets the start between KK, which I'm guessing is Kalamatangi, or Host. We obviously seen that Host got the start. Sid, I'll actually quickly ask you about Host because I know he came from the Dragons. Do you know much about him? Rate him much? Because obviously he's got the start at South, which is a red hot team this year.
Yeah, look, he's an edge back rower, as we know. He's quite tall. He was very skinny when he first came in, but he put on a bunch of muscle year on year the last couple of years. The problem was we didn't have a structural game plan where we could have the edge attacker isolating the three defender, or as you know, the halfback or 5 either side, to show what he really can do. If you can imagine like Sean Lane, someone like that, he's a very similar build. Any decent edge attacker, if he gets that halfback, he has no choice but to tackle him around the ankles. The guy will fall over the line and score every time. Lachlan Fitzgibbon, another one, he's very similar style. The thing that impressed me most about Host is his engine. He can go for a really, really big guy. He can go a lot, and I know Bennett loves that. He loves two things mostly: defense and endurance, and then he builds a play up from there. But I'm expecting to. Bennett doesn't just buy anyone, let alone just start him after he just bought him. I'm expecting a host to go to another level with a real coach, McGregor.
There we go. Down another bottle of Jim Beam.
Another bottle.
A quick question came through about can South and the Melbourne Voodoo. We obviously already answered that, and all you guys believe they can. I don't think they will, but we'll see who's right next week. The last two questions, I want a quick answer from everyone. One guy's asked the score prediction for Broncos v Eels. Jason.
Broncos v Eels. I think Broncos by 8. So I'm going to say
Margin
16-8.
All right, brilliant.
16-8.
Josh?
I'll go 26-10 Eels.
Did
I reckon it was 20-8. It's a 12-point game.
I'm going to go Para 26, Broncos 16. Broncos scoring an early couple of tries and sort of dying off towards the back end. Last question came in was first player to score a hat-trick this year. Josh, give us yours.
Ooh. Look, I've been on this guy since day dot, man. So I'm going to go Latrell Mitchell, eh? I've been on this bloke since day one, man. So I'll go Latrell Mitchell.
All right, Sid.
I looked. I love Josh out of car, like my brother Josh over here, because of his namesake. But I'm just thinking. I was looking at the run of the big teams, and Panthers have a really good, comfortable run. I mean, it's hard to say who's going to be really good until we know. But Panthers, the Charlie Staines, I think he'll be the first one. The guy that took Josh Mansell's position. He scored 4 tries on debut, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, 4.
He's a exciting one to watch.
Well, there you go, guys. One to watch. Jason.
I'm tossing up between 2. Alex Johnston or Micah Sevo.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, I don't actually reckon a hat-trick happen this week. So I'm going to say Alex Johnston, but it won't be this week. It'll be the next couple of weeks. And I think off the South back line, he's going to have plenty of chances to rack up a few tries. That's it, guys. Really enjoyed it tonight. I want a bold prediction, 1 each, before we sign off from everyone for round 1. Sid, I know you love these, but I'll go to you last so you can put us all to sleep at the end. Jason?
Bold prediction.
Bold prediction for round 1.
South's breaking their hoodoo against Melbourne. In Melbourne.
Hey, Joshy boy.
Dogs 13 plus.
Whoa! All right.
I love it, mate. Yeah.
Sid, are you there?
Sid, you're still with us?
Yeah, I got one. I'm just still blown away by the fact that Dogs have a first grade team now, and they're not paying Greg Eastwood $800K anymore.
I'll give you that, brother.
I think he's got a sponsorship. He must have a sponsorship. Every time he talks about Greg Eastwood, he gets paid $100.
He plays Jim Beam Cup. You know, they pay him in Jim Beams. But okay. So this is my prediction. All seriousness, all right. 5 plus. There's 8 games here. I'm going to say there's going to be at least 5-10 in the bins this week.
Ooh.
Because they're going to really crack down on that ruck. And they said to the refs, you can give 10 in the bin if the guy farts left to the right.
My one is 2 games decided by 1 point. So I think there's going to be 2 really, really close games this weekend. So don't put your house on it. But, yeah, that's what I say. Thanks heaps, boys. Thanks to all the viewers. Obviously, if you listen to this before tomorrow night kicks off, Melbourne South, jump on board with the tipping comp. Super coach spots are full, unfortunately, but I think fantasy has a couple more left as well. So
I think we've got 1 spot left in fantasy.
1 spot in fantasy, guys. So if you do play fantasy, get in, and there's 1 spot left, but tipping's still open. But yeah, good luck to anyone's team this week, apart from the Dragons. We feel sorry for Sid. We have found him this week. He appreciated the minute silence. And Dane, please come back after celebrating. We really need you back, brother. So cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.